We're gonna do a complete review of the Easy Transit Foldable E-Trike from 630, from assembly and how it arrives like this to completely assembled and done like that. So stick around. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry, and today we're gonna do a complete review of the foldable Easy Transit E-Trike, and we're gonna take it from the box all the way to completely assembled. Now, before we get into it, hit that subscribe button below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we're doing, and of course, new product releases. Also, you can find the Easy Transit linked in the description below if you want to get more information about the price and all the full specs. This foldable E-Trike comes inside this box. I'm gonna walk you through exactly how it arrives to your door. We're gonna take it out, assemble it, and then I'm gonna take you through everything in terms of how to ride, how to operate, the full process. It's really cool because it is foldable. It's gonna fold right out, and all we have to do is put the front wheel on, and we'll show you the basket installation. I'm also gonna give you the weight, specific weights of the trike with and without the baskets, so you can have all the information that you need. All right, so let's go ahead and wheel out this fully assembled version. All right, so this box in total is 79 pounds. Now the fully assembled E-Trike's not gonna be 79 pounds. We'll get into that detail in a bit here. But the width of the box is 41. The height of the box is 27. And the length of the box is, here we go, 41. So 41, oops. Actually, this is 41, this is 30, and this is 41, sorry. And the height is, we'll go ahead and put that in some text down below here, this is 26. So my first measurements were a little bit off. It's also on some pallet feet here. So these are stuck on at the warehouse. They actually aren't the normal part of the box. All right. So for the easiest assembly, you want to snip off these bands first, and those will come right out, right off. I have some tin snips, which work really great. Scissors will be just fine too. These are not metal, they're plastic. So I also have a mat back here with some tools. Okay. So if you look down in here, this is exactly how your Easy Transit's gonna come packaged to you. So I'll just go ahead and remove this piece of foam. So it's right now folded in half, okay? So you've got your rear wheel right here, your fenders, your basket, and everything is, and your seat is right there. Now everything's zip tied together. So I'm gonna come in with my snips or scissors. I recommend like a snip or a scissor. It's a lot easier than a box cutter for cutting off the zip ties. And we're gonna go ahead and just snip everything to get it free. Okay, come in right here. All right. And then we can start to take things out. And I have a mat back here just to set things on. So let's see. Okay. Now try to be fairly delicate in this process just because you don't want to scratch anything. Just trying to see what is loose. Okay, here's our basket. And I also recommend leaving things in the packaging until you absolutely need to get to it. Okay, here are 2 fenders for the rear. Alrighty. Okay. Now let's just see if there's anything else we need to zip off. I think we got all the zip ties. Okay, now from here, there's 2 approaches. If you want to be careful and you may have to return the trike for some reason, then you don't want to rip the box. At that point, you'd probably need to get some help to lift this out. But the other option too is, even if you cut the box, if you can cut it in a way where you could tape it back up. So I'm just gonna make 1 cut right here. Okay, and make another one right here. There we go. Okay, now from here, okay, we can fold this latch down. We have our own drawbridge here. Okay, now at this point, we can remove all of this and we can unfold this part. Okay, I skipped 2 zip ties here. Let me go ahead and get those. All right, now everything is free. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fold this out. All right, now, if you can come down here and take a look, we have our quick release latch right here, okay? This needs to be pushed up like this in order for it to fold. If it's not, you will not be able to get that in, okay? So you're gonna push up, put it in. Now from here, you're gonna latch it down and latch that closed. So now that is locked in place. So from there, we can actually leave this right here for the time being. Okay. Okay, go ahead and set that there. All right. Now the next piece I like to get on is the front wheel. And that just makes it easy to kind of move the trike into a better position for assembly, and then no parts of the trike are sitting on the ground. Okay. So if you notice here, the fork is actually backwards right now. So we want to turn that around, okay? So the light obviously should be facing forward, like so. And this piece right here is for the front basket as well. So we've got our rotor, which is going to go on the side of your disc brake here, right here. And then this is your connection for the front motor. And we'll do that in a minute, but it's got an arrow on here, and this has an arrow on here as well. You'll match up those arrows. So you want to make sure those are on the correct sides. Okay, so it will go in like this. Now, there's a washer here with a little bit of a notch on it. That piece actually needs to be the one that goes facing down, because it's going to slip into in between the fork. So the washer should come pretty much. Now, if you want to see this from the front too, as you slide the wheel on here, you have your disc brake pads in there, and your rotor needs to fit in between those pads, okay? Then your fork can go on the axle. And if you can see now down here, it's very tight. Your washer with the notch is at the bottom, and that's going to fit into the opening of the fork, which is going to prevent the wheel, or it's just going to prevent the fork from falling out or the wheel spinning when it shouldn't. So it locks into their place, and then from here, we're gonna just hand tighten these down. Okay. And this is just simply a cover here. So we're gonna have to come in with a tool. So we're not gonna do anything. And then this side, just go ahead and hand tighten that down. Now from there, wheel should be, you know, secure enough to the point where we could move it. All right. So now we have that on there. I'm gonna come over here and grab our stem, okay? Now the stem is a foldable stem, so what you have here is a locking piece so the folding doesn't come down while you're riding. You would move that out of the way while you're not riding, oops, to allow this to fold open. I think we have to get it in here for me to actually be able to manipulate it. So this is gonna slide in here like this, okay? And now we will pull this down, and this can fold open like so. Alrighty? So this, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna want to put our handlebars inside the stem first, because that is gonna help us line it up. So if you see on the bottom here, there's a notch in here, okay? And there's a notch inside here, or not a notch, but actually like a peak, so to speak. Okay, so we need to line these up. We can actually go like this too. Okay, and put those in. Now from here, slide that back in. Like so, okay? Okay, now, what you're gonna wanna do is we can tighten this on right here. So what we just put in was this piece. In order to tighten that, you have a quick release right here. To tighten the quick release, and you can always find the correct height for you later, but you can tighten this bolt on the right with your fingers. Okay, and then you wanna start to clamp it, and you want it to be relatively difficult to clamp, where it takes a little bit of effort, like that's pretty good. Not to the point where you're just like putting all your force on it, but you know, it left a little bit of a mark on my hand. Okay, so from here now, you're gonna fold this down. We're gonna need our Allen key here, which I believe is this, let me just confirm here. Okay, so if you look inside here, right here is a 6mm Allen key bolt. This is gonna keep your stem tight from moving when you turn, okay? Now you need to put your handlebars up like so and find the right position. So hold the tire with your feet like this, and then you want to line up the middle of your stem with your frame, okay? That looks good. And then at that point, you want to bring this down, okay? And tighten this bolt. Let's just check it. All right, so it was a little off. So I tightened it enough where it wasn't loose, but I could still manipulate it. Then when you do that, I can adjust it and then put it back down so this won't move, and then come back in and give this final tightening right here. Now it's important that this bolt is fairly tight. Okay, so, okay, I'm using a longer Allen key like this, something I can get some good torque on without, you know, breaking anything. And then from there, we can clamp this back up, and looks great, okay? So now those are straight and your handlebars are on. Now, the actual handlebar adjustment isn't great in this position. Well, actually made one error here. Okay, well, this is a good thing to show you actually on camera. So I made one error, which is I accidentally put the wires on the inside of the handlebar. So we're gonna have to pull this down. And we'll have to loosen this bolt again. Okay, pull this out. Now from here, we want to twist these. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's definitely something to be aware of. You want to make sure you've got the wires in front. Now the display would go like that. So let's go ahead and insert this back in. Okay. Now we've got the wires in the right position. And from here, I can just come back. And this is a quick thing to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this, but not all the way. Just tight enough where I can still move it, but it will hold itself in position when I tilt it back down. Okay, so eyeball that, bring this down, and from here, come in and tighten all the way. Okay, perfect. Just do one more for good measure. Yep, that's good. Okay. Now let's reclamp that. Okay. So now the handlebar position, I'll go ahead and show you how to adjust that. This is my Allen key set I have here. It's really helpful. Got it on Amazon. You've got 2 bolts up here. This is actually a 5mm Allen key right here. So you're just gonna loosen these. Pull the display back like so, okay? Now from there, you've got complete control. So this is something you can figure out later in terms of what is good for you riding position-wise. But I think somewhere around there is pretty good. So come in here, just tighten a little bit each bolt, kind of moving back and forth. All right. Now this is another bolt. These are bolts that you also want to be pretty tight because you don't want the handlebars to slide at any point. All right, move your display back and we're good to go. So now front wheel is on, handlebars are in place. Another thing to point out too is you've got a lot of connections happening up here for the electronics, and they're all outside of the covering here. Just, you want to make sure if you ever have any issues with things not connecting or not working, you just want to check all these connections to just be 100% certain nothing came disconnected during the assembly process at all, okay? All right, so from here, I am going to move my box out of the way. Okay. All right. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna come back to the front wheel now and tighten on the bolts up here. Okay, so this is an 18 millimeter. Everything on the bike, the bolts will be in the metric system. So I have a ratcheting wrench here and we just need to tighten. So I'm just gonna crank this down. Now again, you wanna get that as tight as you can get it. So on this side, you won't be able to use the ratcheting. You'll just use the open-ended part. Okay, I'm just gonna come and double check this side with the open-ended part as well. All right, that's pretty tight. Okay, now from here, put your plastic cover on. the nut up here. Okay. Now we can connect our front motor. So again, line up your arrows like so. There we go. Oops. There, and it goes in, okay? And then this tightens on to keep the connections together, all right? There we go. Perfect. Now we have our front wheel completely assembled. And if you want, you can also toss a zip tie on here to keep this to the fork. If you want to secure it, you know, maybe down here. Helps tuck that wire away a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Need to snip this one off right here. At this point, it's pretty safe to take packaging off the frame now that you have it out of the box and virtually assembled. All right, so inside of your basket is gonna be your rear fender, okay? So this is going to go on right here. And it's gonna bolt to the front fork. However, before we do that, I'm gonna put the seat in first because what I actually wanna do is I wanna take the complete weight of the trike without putting on the fenders and the baskets, so people can know how much you can reduce the weight by if you want it to be in its lightest form. Okay, so the seat comes with the seat post already attached here. So you can slide this in. And this is a double seat post, so you have the ability to adjust the top portion and the bottom portion actually. Okay. And so, I mean, again, this is just for, we'll dial this in a little bit later, but just for the sake of the video, okay? And the angle it comes with should be pretty good. If you need to adjust it, we actually have another video on that you can reference as well, but the angle should come pretty good on the seat. Okay, so from here, to get a working trike, we just need to put our pedals on, okay? So now you're gonna have this box, which is gonna come inside the basket. So both baskets will be in here, the front and the rear, okay? So let's go ahead and pop that open. And inside of here, you have your charger. You also do have tools if you want, don't have your own tools at home. Okay, so here are your pedals. Now on the pedals, if you can see, they're marked with an R and an L. And that indicates right and left. Now the pedals both tighten by being spun forward. So that means the left pedal is a reverse thread. So the right pedal is righty-tighty. And you can just hand tighten these on. Like so. Oop. And the left pedal tightens forward as well, which is to the left. And the reason for that is so when you're pedaling, you're actually tightening them or going in the direction of how they would tighten versus loosening. And these are a 15mm wrench. So you can take your open-ended 15mm, slide it in there, and tighten that down. You can, a little trick, put your foot like that. Well, actually, that doesn't work for that one, sorry. You want to lift up. There we go. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Put my tools away. Okay. Okay, so from here, you would want to make sure the brakes and the gears are working properly. We actually have another video or other videos on how to adjust your brakes and gears. They should come pre-tuned from the factory. Take it for a little ride. If you're not comfortable doing that yourself, I do recommend taking it to a professional mechanic or have a mobile mechanic come to your house. Or you can also reference our other videos for that. So at this point now, you can see if you want to make adjustments without having the basket on, your derailleur is wide open here. You can see it. Your brakes are right here, so it's easy to make the adjustments when you have it like this, okay? I can go ahead and just pull a little bit and see. Actually seems pretty good for the rear and the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the weight on this, and we'll be right back. Okay, so without the baskets, the E-Trike weighs 69 pounds, and the battery is 6.5 pounds. So 62.5 pounds if you want to strip it down of the baskets, the fenders, and the battery. And I bring that up because if you would rather opt for a more lightweight option and you're going to be transporting it frequently, then maybe you want to leave the baskets off. Or if you're just riding it local, keeping it stored in your garage or at home, you can put on all the accoutrements and accessories. But if you want it, you know, for the folding element and the transportation element, it might be more beneficial to leave it without the baskets, fenders, and then you can take the battery off. So it's 62 pounds to lift it on and off of either a rack or inside of a car. By removing all of those things, you're gonna save yourself about 10 pounds. We're gonna take the final weight when we put all the fenders and baskets and everything on as well. Okay, let's do the front fender. And before we move on, inside the box where the pedals were, there's a little plastic cap. This goes on your front axle nut right here. I'll go ahead and show you. So you can just go ahead and pop that on right here. And it's just simply decorative, so it covers up that bolt. All right, now your front fender is going to install, there's a top tab that will go on this bolt right here. So let's take a look here. That looks about a 5mm. It is, okay. And the back side is a 10mm. Let's go ahead and grab that right here, okay. And we can loosen that now. And I will hand loosen that. And this bolt is actually threaded in here, so let's go ahead and thread that all the way back, okay? All right, from there, we're gonna slide. Now actually this fender tab, let's take a look here. Let's see what the best position is. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the back side here. Okay, I'm gonna put the light first, and then I'm gonna put the fender tab, and then I'm gonna come in and hand tighten. Oh. Okay. 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 Now let's just leave this loose, and we're gonna first attach our fender struts, which are down here. So the bolt for the fender strut is gonna be inside the frame already. So use your 5mm. Pull that out. Okay, come up here. And again, just put that on loose for the time being. And, okay. Now you've got the same situation here, the bolt right here. Oops. All right. Okay, now from here, just put that on and hand tighten. Just hand tighten as much as you can. Okay. Now kind of look at it from a straight on view. Just want to make sure it's nice and centered. Okay. Side's good. Now you can come tighten this side down. Okay. Now from there, we can come and tighten our light and tab back on. Oops. Okay. So because it's threaded, I've got the bolt all the way in here. So you're actually gonna want to come from the back side and tighten the bolt on. So I have a 10mm, it's called a tri tool. And if you have a ratcheting socket, that's gonna be faster than this. And you're just gonna tighten that all the way. Make sure your light is nice and straight. Okay, nice and tight up there. And you're all good up top here. I can actually come in just to see if this can go a little bit tighter. Let's see. That's good. Fender. Now, if the fender's off a little bit, you can just, you know, kind of manipulate it with your hands a little. And that's good. All right. Now let's move on to our front basket. So, front basket is going to mount like so. So first thing I like to do is, let's go ahead and take these two bolts out right here. And let's see, if you can't get them with your hands, you're gonna need your 5mm. And your 10mm in the back here. Okay, so the brackets to mount the front basket are gonna come inside the box that was inside the basket. There's gonna be 3 brackets. There's 2 that look like this, which will be to mount to the strut. And then there's another bracket like this, which is gonna be used to mount the basket up top here, okay? So this bracket's gonna go on the front here. And then we are going to push We're gonna push the bracket through like so. Oops. And then on the back there, you're gonna put on your nut, okay? Get this out of here. you may actually need to thread the bolt through just to get it all the way on. Okay, then you put your bolt on the back, and then we will come around to the front one. Okay, now, once we have those hand tightened on, we can come in and tighten them a little more, but I don't want to tighten them all the way until I do the bracket down here. Okay, so just enough where I know for a fact it's going to stay on. Okay. Okay, now from here, we're going to mount our bracket underneath. Okay, so you've got this piece will go on top, and this piece will go on the bottom. Okay, so put your bracket underneath. Oops. Okay. I'll come in with our other screw. Now we can start to tighten everything down. Okay, now if you want to get a look underneath here, you can see I've got the bracket mounted in front of this wire piece of the basket, and then this is clamping both pieces down, okay? All right, so then I come in and I'm just gonna tighten all this down. And just tight enough, we don't wanna squeeze. You know, this piece is gonna bend a little bit. Okay, now, we can also do is on these struts here, probably just wanna come in right here and make sure these are nice and tight. So this is my 10mm and my 10mm wrench and my 5mm Allen key. And that's gonna be able to make sure this can hold some weight. Okay. Okay. And now that's fully installed. And that can hold, I would say 15 pounds is safe, maybe up to 20 pounds, but I recommend 15 pounds or less. All right, now we're gonna move on to the rear fenders. So one thing to point out is I did have 2 extra screws in here that we did not need for the basket assembly. All right, now, rear fenders. All right, you can just go ahead and pull each fender out. Now the bolts come on the fender here, right here. So you're just gonna go ahead and loosen these if you can by hand. If not, then this is a 4mm Allen key. All right, got my 2 bolts off. Now I got that. And I think it doesn't matter actually which side the fenders go on. So you can just make sure it lines up with the screws. And you're gonna line up the inside of the hole like so. And again, I'm just hand tightening till I can't hand tighten anymore. And from here, go ahead and tighten these down. So actually a little tool is gonna come and it fits a lot easier in this space to tighten this bolt on, like so. There we go. Yeah, much easier. There you go. And then these are real solid when they're installed. So we'll move over to the next one. All right, mission accomplished on the rear fenders. Now, final piece is our rear basket. Okay, there's 2 brackets you need for the rear basket. Make sure you find them in the box, the big box. I just had to dig them out actually. So they're gonna come in this package and they are going to look like this, okay? And firstly, let's just see here. Okay, so they're gonna go like this on top of the basket, okay? So we're going to remove all 4 of these bolts. Okay. Now, when we have that off, your basket is going to sit on top like so. And from here, you're going to find the middle, so in between these 2. And then your bracket is going to come across like this, okay? Actually, I'm gonna move this back. There we go. Like that, okay? Alrighty. Perfect. Okay, now, this part can be a little tricky. What you need to do is put this on top of your bracket, and then you're gonna push the screw through the mesh, okay? And you may actually need your Allen key or Allen tool while you do this. So let's find, okay, the place right there. And then from there, you're just gonna tighten it down a little bit. Again, not all the way. Let's wait till we get the other one on. Okay. So same thing over here. We're gonna slide that back. Okay. So if you want to see here, it's a little bit difficult, but got the bracket in there and I can see a good spot through the mesh. So put my bolt in, push it through, and tighten. And once we have the both bolts in on one of the brackets, you can go ahead and start tightening it down. Okay. So find your opening in the mesh and push through and line it up to the threads. And you're in. Okay. Okay, I didn't tighten that all the way just yet. Make sure also with your basket when you're installing it that the opening is facing the rear. Just going to make it a lot easier for loading and unloading things. We got it. Once you have all 4 bolts in, just come around and give a little tightening to each of them and just make sure it feels good and tight. And there you have it. Rear basket is installed. Now, air in the tires, we want to make sure we do that. That's been something that has been tricky for people with the front wheel. So let me go ahead and get positioned where I can. Last but not least, we have our rear tail light. And just remove this little tab. And this is not connected to anything on the top electronics. It's just a button back here. So if you want it on when you ride, you'll have to turn it on while you're off the bike. All right. So just remove the 2 screws on the back, and then this mounts just right here, like so. And then I can come back, I believe that's an 8mm. Okay, nice and tight. All right. Now, okay, so a couple things here. Very tight space to put air in your front tire. There are actually some attachments that you can buy that will make this much, much easier. But if you only have like a head like this, you can just push this valve out a little bit, okay? And then clamp it. And from there, it should be just fine. It's max 65, so I'm gonna put it up to about 60. Okay. And I actually put it up to 62 because when we pull this off, we're gonna lose some air. So that's a little trick as well. Just overinflate just a pound or 2 because you're gonna lose air on the removal. And we're good to go. Now the rear tires are pretty standard. These shouldn't be as challenging. All right, we are done and ready to ride. I'll walk you through some of the things here. So what you should do is take your e-trike for a ride, make sure you can shift into all the gears. So it is a trigger shift, so you shift here to go up and here to go down, and make sure all the gears go in. Again, we have other videos on how to adjust it, but this is all pre-adjusted, so it should work great. All right, now turning it on, if you come down here, actually on this side, I don't know if you can see, your keys are gonna come hanging up here. I just put one in here. Now, when you're riding, you don't need the key in for this, so you can take your key out, and to remove it, you just unlock and pull out very simply. And then to put it back in, you just go like that, and then you can lock and take your key out. I'm just gonna leave it in there for the sake of this. Now on the other side, sorry, if you come back around here, you have your on-off for the battery and your charging port right here. Now your charger, I'm actually just gonna throw that in the basket here. So your charger will plug in right there, and you can plug it into your wall. Now your battery needs to be switched on for the electricity to, or for the power to work. So this is the on position, okay? Then from there, you can come up here and push your power button and your trike will come on. So you've got your miles per hour, your pedal assist level, your distance ridden, your temperature, and this one is your watt output. So this is a 750 watt motor, but there's a peak, there's a max peak performance of wattage that these are capable of. So that's gonna tell you at any given time how much wattage the motor is pulling, and it actually at certain points can exceed the 750 watt. Now, you wanna be careful working that too hard, because if you were going up a major hill, towing a huge cargo, and this is start going up and up and up, it means the motor's trying to supply the power it needs. But if you overwork it, you can short out a wire. So something to be aware of. Now, if you come over here, you've got your thumb throttle right here. You're gonna push that and you can go. And you've got your drive and reverse. So D for drive, R for reverse. And basically, you wanna go in reverse, put it in reverse. Drive to go in drive. You can flip those any way you see fit. And you are off and able to ride. Let me go ahead and get my helmet, and I'm just gonna take you for a quick demo test ride. All right, one other thing I just wanted to show really quick here is the parking brake. So you got parking brakes on either side, and you just pull the lever and then push that down, and now it won't go anywhere. And you can just click it to pull the lever off. So really easy to operate. I just adjusted the handlebars, which I think I showed, before, was right here. I just wanted them up a little bit higher, get them really close to my body. And cool thing, to show you reverse, you just click and you're off and forward. And this thing is a ton of fun. And you can see how nimble this is right here. All right, there you have it. If you want to see more info about the Folding E-Trike or have any other questions, please comment below or reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. You can find it linked in the description below. Also, we have a 30-day test ride your E-Trike policy. If you don't love it in 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we're gonna warranty everything for a year. Anything goes wrong in the first year, we'll take care of it, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. And lastly, we have a Facebook group, 630 Peddlers. You may know about it already. If not, go ahead and join there. You can ask existing owners how they like their Easy Transit. And then once you get yours, post in the group, make friends, and also download our app to track your rides and compete on the leaderboard. It's a lot of fun. So, thanks for sticking around. And don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. How to operate your Easy Transit Foldable Electric Trike from 630. Stick around to see how. All right, so today I'm gonna show you how to operate the Easy Transit Foldable E-Trike from 630, but before I get into it, take that back. I'm not gonna say that part. I'm not gonna say the subscribe part because this will also be on Vimeo. All right, so, okay, so today I'm gonna show you how to operate your 630 Easy Transit Foldable E-Trike, the 16-inch folding electric trike, the Easy Transit. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now the Easy Transit is, again, it's foldable. It's got 16-inch wheels and it's really, really simple to get up and riding. So if you want to come in here, I'll show you a few things. Now, if you're thinking about ordering it or if you've already ordered it, I'll just walk you through step by step how to get moving. Now, your battery is located here and we currently have our keys up here. So if you get your new E-Trike, your new Easy Transit, your keys will be just like this, attached to the front cables. Now you're gonna get 2 keys when you get your Easy Transit. I recommend keeping one in a very safe place. They can be replaced, but it's not that simple. We do have to put in a request to the factory. Okay, so if you wanna take a look down here, you have your key hole right here. You would just put this in, unlock it, and you would remove the battery like so. Now, once you have it removed, now you see this red switch right here too. This is actually an on-off button for the batteries. So if this is not in the on position and you try to turn your Easy Transit on, the bike will not go on. Up top here, you have a power button that if you hit will actually tell you, oops, we gotta turn it on. So you have to turn it on if you want to see the actual charge. So if you can see, press that and we have a full battery, okay? So if you wanted to take this inside to charge, your charging port is right here. Now, very important, never stick anything inside of that charging port except the tip of the charger. This is electricity flowing through here, so anything metal will cause sparks, cause fires. Do not stick anything in there. Now, if you want to charge, you just plug your charger directly into the wall. A red light will pop on indicating that it's not charging. Once you plug it in, it'll turn green to indicate that you are charging. Pretty simple. You can also leave it on the bike to charge. That is an option as well. Totally up to you. If you're keeping your Easy Transit in a garage or anywhere where it's going to be susceptible to drastic temperature fluctuations, I'd recommend keeping the battery indoors so we can control it from heating up or cooling too much. And I'd recommend charging it in a temperature-controlled environment as well. I have seen that exists some temperature-controlled bags that people put their batteries into for storage as well. That is another option. So now you'll come in and this is just gonna click right in like so. And from there, we would just lock the battery on. Now, like I said, we need to make sure that this is in the on position here. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my key back up here on my key ring. Like so, okay. Now, obviously you don't wanna leave these out if you're leaving your bike somewhere. Someone could take your battery. Okay, so it's on. Now you're gonna move up here to the handlebars. Your power button is in the middle right here. You're just gonna hold that down. Now you're gonna see your screen come on here. You have your battery life indicator. You actually have the length of time that the bike has been turned on. You have your pedal assist level, your miles per hour. This is your wattage output, so it's gonna gauge how much wattage the motor's producing. Now, even though it's a 750 watt motor, depending on if you're going up very large hills and really pedaling, you may be producing more watts than the 750 watts. So you may see that go into the 800s, maybe even 900s. Here's your odometer and your outside temperature, which is right now in Celsius. Okay, from there, on the left-hand side here, you have a little red button that says D and R. This means drive and reverse. So the Easy Transit does have a reverse option. If you flip this into reverse, now the motor will be powering you backwards, and this is drive. Right here is your thumb throttle. Now I'm gonna demonstrate the riding here in a second. To get moving, you're just gonna push that with your thumb if you'd like to use the throttle. For the pedal assist, you're just gonna pedal and the motor will kick in. Now you have your brakes, your front and right brakes right here, and you actually have parking brakes on both levers. So if you see right here, you're going to pull this back, and now the parking brake is engaged. You can do it on both sides if you so choose. So now the bike can't roll and move anywhere. It's a nice little feature. We'll keep one of them engaged while we sit here. Now up here on your derailleur, you have trigger shifter. So this is to go down, this is to go up. These 7 speeds are not part of the electric. These are just 7 speeds like you'd have on a typical bicycle. So when you're in high levels of pedal assist, you want to start to shift up into 5, 6, 7. So you can try to match your pedal output with the cadence of the motor, or the cadence of your pedaling with the power output of the motor. If you're in too low of a gear and too much power, you're going to be spinning your legs real fast as the trike powers you. So you can play around with this and shift until you find the right combination of what pedal assist works for you and what gear. And that will just take time for you riding. Now, there's a lot of adjustments you can make here. Obviously, you can adjust your handlebars. You can raise and lower your seat. I'm not going to get into too much of that. I'm just going to stick to really the operation of the Easy Transit today. But we have other videos if you want to check those out on our YouTube channel. You can also see more details about the foldability of it as well. We have another video really showing how I break it down, how I fold it, how I put it into a car. You can see all of that. I'll just show you real quick right here. You do have the folding quick release mechanism down there. You also have the folding mechanism for the handlebars so they can fold down here as well. And now for the operation of it all, it's very simple. Now always engage the brake when you get on. I always also recommend leave the motor in the off position when mounting. I just had it on when I mounted, but leave it off. So if you want to come over here so you can see the screen right here, I'll just show you. So when you get on, ideally this is off. Hold your motor down. Now for safe operation, I like the pedal assist to be in no more than 2. And 1 is pretty ideal as you get used to how to ride and how comfortable you are with the assistance that you get. Now, like I said, to kick in the throttle, if you want to use that, you're going to push the throttle. Now, don't slam the throttle with your thumb. You just want to ease into it. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate really quick. I don't know if you can somehow, if they can see my thumb here, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of power like so. Okay. And again, it's one of those things where you can start to get more comfortable with the feel of how much power you want or don't want as you ride. Okay. Now, for the pedal assist, very simple. You just start pedaling and the motor will kick in. And again, start in the lowest level of pedal assist till you really get comfortable. And I'm just going to lower the seat down just a touch so I have the right height here. And you can see we have the double seat post. Okay. Now from there, you step through. Okay. And again, I left the motor on. I always recommend turning it off when you get on and off. Okay. Now, also I'll show you reverse really quick. It's very simple. I put it in reverse and I just pull the throttle and I'm moving backwards. Now I flip it back to drive. Okay, so for pedal assist, you're just gonna start pedaling, and once you make about a 1/2 to 3/4 turn, that's when the pedal assist will kick in. And so I'll just show you. There's my turn, and now I'm in pedal assist. And you can stop pedaling and the motor will stop assisting you. That's the beauty of pedal assist, right? So you can coast a little bit, and then come in for a stop. Anytime you pull the brakes, the motor will disengage. So at any point when you're operating, if you want to disengage the motor, hit the brakes and it will turn it off so you can come to a stop and you don't have to worry about the electric, taking you places you don't want to go. All right, now I'm just going to do a quick ride along with you and you can watch how I operate and things I do, and I'll walk you through how I operate the Easy Transit when I go for a ride. Okay, we're just going to take a little ride. Have you come along with me so you can see how I operate things. So again, I'm gonna push my power button on right here. My screen comes on, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start out in throttle. You wanna come with me? So I just kind of ease into it. All right, so I'm only in level 1 right now. Now I'll just switch to, now you can see the brakes too. I recommend pulling both brakes at the same time. On a trike, it's not as important to, not hit the front brake. You can really use whichever you'd like, but you just might as well pull them a little bit, each one. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and make a turn right here. Now on trikes, you wanna lean into the turn. Here I come. And now I'll just do some pedaling. Now you don't want to start pedaling until you're through the turn to keep balance good. And now I've got a little bit of a hill here. So I'm gonna go ahead and increase my power. And you can see when I increase this to level 5, I can really start moving. All right, so we're just gonna head back and pedal assist. I'm gonna put it in level 1 because if I show you what it looks like in 5, now if I put it in 5 and I start pedaling, it's gonna be really aggressive on that first electric push. So let's start it out in 1. And now we have a nice consistent pace. And I'm already going 8 miles an hour. If we really want to up the ante, we could go faster. Now we've got a downhill here. So it's important to ease your brakes on downhills. You don't want to slam them at the bottom. Just ease into the brakes as we go down, nice and easy, to ensure that you'll stop with ample distance. So just easing into the brakes here, no problem. Okay, now we're here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my pedal assist up a little bit because we're gonna start the incline. I'm in 3, and I'm 220 pounds, and you can see it easily gets me up the hill. And I'll go ahead and put it into 5 for the straightaway, and you can see how fast I can get going here. All right, so there's my basics on how to operate the Easy Transit Folding E-Trike from 630. You can find additional videos about how to turn and ride trikes on our YouTube channel, so check those out if you want more information, how to steer, how to adjust your weight. You can see you just want to lean into turns. You don't want to use your throttle or your pedal assist when you're going into turns. You want to wait till you make the turn, then use your electric in order to stay safe and balanced on your trike. Avoid taking turns too fast on tricycles. You want to make sure you're more cautious, take them slow, so you're always keeping 3 wheels on the ground. Now, if you have any other questions at all or need more insight on how to operate or charge or do anything with your Easy Transit, send us an email, theteam@sixthreezero.com, or you can also call us 310-982-2877. And don't forget, you can jump into our 630 Peddlers group on Facebook. You can also ask a lot of questions there of existing riders as well. They're always a big help. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey everyone, Dustin here, CEO of 630, and right here I have the 630 Easy Transit Folding Electric Trike, and today I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process to assemble the Easy Transit Folding E-Trike. Now, I have taken it out of the box, laid all my parts out. I have a mat down underneath the trike here just to keep it safe and protect everything. I've removed all the packaging, gotten it out of the box, but I've left it in the same state that it would have come out of the box in to show you how everything is assembled. Now I've taken all the packaging off of the bike. I've left some of the packaging on the fenders here. I would actually advise you to leave as much packaging on the bike during the assembly process as possible. That way you're gonna protect the frame and other parts so they don't get scratched. In particular, be careful of your baskets and your fenders where you set those. If those should tip over, fall on the concrete or pavement or something, they're going to scratch. So you wanna make sure you have those in a safe place. And again, they won't fall over or get scratched. So this is exactly how the Easy Transit is going to come out of the box. It's actually gonna come not folded, but locked in position and ready to ride. The rear wheels are on, the rear derailleur's on, calipers for the brakes are in place, and you have your front wheel off here. So I have everything set up. Also, you're gonna have an additional box here. This is gonna have your charger in here. This is gonna have mounting pieces for the front basket. Your keys will be in here. There's a little bell for you should you choose to put that on. There's a cap for an axle nut, your pedals, and a rear reflector as well. So I've just set it all down there, and as we move through the assembly, we will go part by part. So let's go ahead and jump right into the front wheel assembly. So when you receive your trike, your handlebars will be folded down like this. You can simply lift them up, and then right here you have a latch. You can go ahead and pull this latch up, and that's gonna lock your handlebars in place. And there is this mechanism here which can be slid over this little plastic piece. This is a bracket to prevent the latch from coming down while you're riding. Okay, so now that we have that in place, let's go ahead and move to installing the front wheel. Okay, now, to install the front wheel, if you want to come in here for a closer look, this connection piece right here is going to be where the front motor attaches to. And you're going to have a piece in between the forks here. This is a plastic piece which can be removed and discarded. So we're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And now, let's go ahead and grab our front wheel. Okay, so you will see, in order to insert the front wheel, you've got your rotor on one side for the brakes, and you've got your connection piece here. So you're gonna want this to be on the same side as the connection, and the rotor is going to slip in to the calipers of the disc brake, which is right here. Now, you're going to roll, so one other thing before we move here, you may need to loosen the nut here, pull those out, because you're gonna want ample room to seat your fork in there. On this side, same thing. Now you have one washer on the inside on this rotor side. Leave that in and the other ones can come off, okay? Now, you're going to place your wheel in, lift the fork up, make sure the rotor slips in to the caliper, and then kind of roll the wheel. Let's see, let's go forward a little till the fork drops in. There you go. Now you see the fork actually dropped in. Now from here, if you can see, this first washer in here has a little notch. That notch slides into the opening of the fork down here, and that's gonna prevent the wheel from moving. And then you move your other washer in, and now we can hand tighten this on right here. Okay. And we'll just hand tighten it as much as we can do. Okay, so that should be good. And now this is a rubber cap piece, which we're not going to put that back yet because we still have to tighten down this bolt. Okay, now let's move to the other side. And let me go ahead and show you the washer here. If you see in my hand, it has this little notch here. So that goes down and inserts right into the opening of the fork, just like that. And that makes sure the fork stays in place and it won't move. Then you put your other additional flat washer on right here. And lastly, your bolt. And we can go ahead and hand tighten that right on there. And then we'll come back with our wrench to fully tighten. If you have a ratchet set, it's going to make this process quite a bit easier. The front axle nut is an 18 millimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide that on, and well, actually on this side, we can't use that. We'll use an open end. So on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and place this on here and crank this down. Now you want this bolt to be tight, but you don't have to step on it or over crank it, just to the point where I can't tighten it anymore. That's good. Okay. And so from here now, we will need an open-ended wrench, an 18 millimeter. Okay, got my 18 millimeter here. And we're just gonna come in right here and tighten this bolt down. You can obviously do both sides with the open-ended wrench. If you don't have an 18 millimeter, an adjustable wrench will work just fine. So go ahead and get that nice and tight. Okay, once it's all tight, just go ahead and put your cap back on there, okay? All right, now that that's in, we can go ahead and connect the motor. So you've got an arrow right here, and you have an arrow right here. So you need to match those two up, okay? And then you're gonna push in, and then from there, you're going to tighten this connector joint like that. Now, these are firmly in place, and they are not going anywhere. And let's just make that look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And we're all set. Our front wheel is fully installed and ready to go. Okay, now we can put the front fender on. I usually like to mount this tab in the front of the fork here. So go ahead and put that in. Just go ahead and bend your struts like this so you can slide this in. And then once it's back there, we can go ahead and pull those down. Okay, so we have it seated in position. Now, from here, we need to remove our light bolt, and that's going to be an Allen key and what looks to be a 10 millimeter. Let me go ahead and confirm that. Okay. It is, okay. So you can put your 10 millimeter right here. Bring your, and actually before inserting the fender, it probably would be easier to just go ahead and take this off, but we're already come too far. Okay. So now that is off, all right. And there is a washer. There is actually a couple washers behind the light, and this is a threaded bolt, okay? So let me go ahead and get this bolt out. Okay, there's one washer from the back. I'm gonna go ahead and set that down so we don't lose it. Okay, actually there's only one washer. Okay, so now let's go ahead and place this in between the reflector and the fork, okay? And we'll go ahead and start hand tightening it just to get it started. Okay. And I'm gonna switch to my, actually we don't need the tool. All right, now we'll put our washer back on the back side, put our bolt on the back side here. Oops. Okay, now it's a locking nut on the back, so I'm just gonna leave it, and before we proceed with tightening all the way, I am going to get our fender brackets installed here. Okay, so you can see right here we have our fender bolt. Let me go ahead and remove this. This is gonna come pre-installed on the frame, okay? And there's a washer. So let's go ahead and take that, and now we're just gonna put that right back in. Okay. And this is actually a 5 millimeter Allen key for this. So go ahead and just tighten that all the way. It actually comes with an Allen key. We use this tool, or you can also pick up Allen keys at your local hardware store. All right, now on this side you have the same thing. It's a little bit trickier because you've got the brake cable here, but not too bad. So go ahead and loosen. Okay, and oops. All right, now just get that in front. Now it may take a little bit of strength, and actually I think it's advantageous to leave the other side a little bit loose before you tighten it down. There we go. That'll give us a little more play. Okay, pull that over like that. Feed that through. And now go ahead and hand tighten first. Okay. And let's go ahead and start tightening. Okay. All right. Now that we have that tight, we are going to want to tighten our nut bolt here for the. Okay, so I'm going to use my 10mm. I have a ratcheting 10mm. Put my 5mm in here. Go ahead and start tightening. Actually, that was loosening. Sorry. Okay. Now, you may not be able to get the wrench all the way into the back side of this fork piece, so we may need to get this as tight as possible, and then at the, yeah, now it's starting to kind of fall off because there's a little indentation on the back there. So I'm going to switch to actually tightening with my Allen key. And I have a set of ratcheting Allen keys, which also makes this step a little bit easier. Okay. If you do have someone close by, have them hold this light upright as you're tightening. That would be very helpful. Or you can put that back there, hold this with your hand, go ahead and tighten. Okay. Now, I've been assembling bikes with fenders for 20 years, and fenders, they're not always going to be perfect. If you should see it's a little bit off center or anything, just a little bit of adjustment with your hand will do the trick. But that looks pretty good. So now we have the front fender fully installed. Okay, now we are going to install the fender, or the pedals, sorry. And on the inside of the pedals, you're going to see an R or an L. Indicates right and left. So we'll start with our R pedal, which goes on the right-hand side. Now, the key to pedals is everything tightens by spinning it forward, okay? So that means that the left pedal is a reverse thread. So you just come in here, get that in there, and start to hand tighten as much as you can do. Okay, that's good. And now the other side. Now the left pedal, keep in mind, pedals going, tightens, twisting forward, so reverse thread. Okay, there we go. Now this is a 15 millimeter wrench to tighten this. So let's go ahead and get our 15 millimeter out. And you're just going to insert your wrench right in here. And start turning. Okay, now you want to just make sure you want to get this to the point where you're pushing pretty hard and you can't push anymore because you want your pedals to absolutely be tight. If these are not tight, it's possible they can pull out and strip the threads. Okay. Same here. Okay, now go ahead and just really give it a couple good tightens. There we go. And now your pedals are fully on. And we're moving right along. Okay. Now from here, again, a few choices. You could put your seat in. We will go ahead and do the front basket. So for the front basket, you actually have this hardware that comes with it, which is 2 bolts and a bracket, and you obviously have your basket. Now, on the frame here, on this piece right here, 2 bolts already come attached to the bike. So first step, let's go ahead and remove these, and you should be able to just hand loosen those. And let's just keep these in my pocket so we don't lose those. Beautiful. Okay, now from here, first thing I'm going to do is attach the piece right here, okay? So this piece is gonna go under your basket, and that's gonna attach there, okay? So take one of your screws. We're gonna do the Allen key hole opening facing this way, okay? You're gonna pop it through and then tighten the screw right there. Now, you're gonna want the screw to be in the middle of these 2 pieces of the basket so you have a lot of room to slide up and down, okay? All right, let's go ahead and pop this one in. Okay, now we have both of those hand tightened. I like to do hand tightening first so we don't overcommit and you have a little bit of play when you can, adjust these. So let's go ahead and put this piece on for the strut before we fully tighten. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and install this bracket. So this piece is has a little notch in it like so. That is going to go up under this bracket here, and you're gonna line it up with the holes here, and we're gonna feed our screws in through the top here to the bracket, okay? And then we're gonna put our other one in, like so. And this is just a Phillips head. Now, this piece will get bent a little bit in the tightening process, that is okay. So let's go ahead and find a Phillips head, and we'll come in right here. This is a threaded piece here, so the screws are just gonna come straight through, like so. Okay, need to get this one lined up a little better here. Let's see. There we go, perfect. Oops. And this is a little bit big of a Phillips head. Let me go ahead and find a smaller size here. This will do the trick. Okay, and just go ahead and tighten this all the way. Okay, now you're gonna feel that piece tight. Now we still have these loose up here. So I will come back with my 10 millimeter and my 5 millimeter Allen key, like so.
And just go ahead and tighten this down all the way. Now you could also play around with the bend and position if you want a little higher, wherever you like it. Oops. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we're actually going to need to tighten these bolts down here, which we'll get to in a second. So I'm going to come right here. Okay. Now you can see nice and tight. Now you can just come down here and check these. These should be fairly pre-tightened, but actually they do need a little bit of tightening. So go ahead and tighten those. Okay. Come around to the other side. There we go. Okay, now it's good to go. Now, a lot of people have asked me about dogs in these baskets. I don't recommend it. I'm gonna say as 630, we don't want your dogs in this basket. It's really not designed for that. It's designed for, you know, about 10, 12 pounds of weight. If you have a 10-pound dog, again, I don't recommend it. It's a little bit small to put a dog in there, but you know, if you decide to do that on your own terms, then you guys can go ahead and do that. All right, now, pedals are on, front basket is on. We are kind of on the home stretch here. So let's go ahead and put the seat in, which this is a quick release, so it's pretty easy. You just loosen the quick release right here, and then go ahead and, in order to get this tight, make sure the clamp's down. You want to tighten this side right here. Okay, open the clamp and then tighten this side down. Then from there, you want to make sure this is going to be fairly difficult to tighten, okay? Because you need that to be tight. Now that's your base one. So you have two actual quick releases, right? You have this one up here and the one on the bottom. So you can play around with that, loosen it, tighten it, whatever you see fit, and find your perfect position. Try right there. And again, tighten this in right here. This is just a hand tighten, don't use a wrench, but you want this to be a little bit difficult to close. That means your seat will be tight, okay? And then lock that in place. Now, one thing I noticed is before you start riding, actually, we're gonna flip this down for the quick release, and there's a bolt in here, right here, okay? This needs to be tightened before you start riding, because if this is not tightened, your handlebars will move. So this is a 6mm Allen key. You're gonna place it in here like this, and you're gonna tighten this down, okay? And again, try to get it as tight as you can without making it, without hurting too much. That's about as tight as I can get it. Now fold your handlebars back up, clamp this in, put your locking mechanism. Now your handlebars will turn, okay? Perfect. All right, now let's move on to the rear fenders. Okay, I left the packaging on the rear fenders just to prevent damage. I'm gonna go ahead and take off these pieces. So the fenders are actually attached to this cage, we'll call it, and it comes with 2 bolts already on here, pre-installed. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those. Okay. Okay, now, if you see here, you have this attachment piece right here. So you're gonna Let me take a look at the fender so I can see. Now it looks, I think these can be installed on either side, okay? So you're gonna line that up like so, and from here, you're gonna thread your bolt through into the threads on the fender cage. And again, you can start out just by hand tightening, okay? There we go. If you're hand tightening and you find that you can't get the thread in or it won't go, it's most likely because the threads are crooked, or yeah, the screw's not in correctly. So if you can't get it with your fingers, try to realign, try again. Most of the time like this, you can see I can get this pretty much all the way in here. And let's just go ahead and take this off, make sure it's lined up and looks good. Okay, it does. And from there, then, we will come in. This is a smaller Allen key. This is a 4mm Allen key. We're gonna come in here and tighten this down. Okay. Now for this one, this is a little bit of a tighter fit. So you're gonna need a longer Allen key. Okay. So come in like so, like that. Okay, all right, perfectly tight. Now we're gonna repeat that process on the other side and then we'll have both fenders installed. Okay, now we're gonna put on the rear light. There's a little pull tab here. You're gonna wanna remove that and that will allow the light to work. You can see right here, there's an on-off button, and you can turn that on in advance of night riding. And on the back here, this is pretty straightforward. There's a nut and a washer on either side. So go ahead and remove those. Okay. And you're just gonna insert like so, right here. And then put your nut back on, okay? And you can use an adjustable wrench to tighten. You can actually get it pretty tight with your fingers, but just to get it the extra way, I'm actually just gonna use my needle nose pliers, and I'm just gonna come in here and grab the bolt and just give it a little turn. And again, you could use your adjustable wrench. Good and tight. Now we will move on to adjusting the brakes and the gears before we put the basket on to complete the assembly process. The reason we're gonna do that is because in the back here, you're gonna have easier access to your rear rotor and to your derailleur to tune those prior. Now, the brakes and the gears should come to some extent tuned from the factory. If they feel nice and tight and they feel like they work well to you, adjustment is not necessarily needed. If you can run through all the gears, so at this point, take a test ride. Don't use the motor yet if you don't have to. And just go ahead and check and see if you can go from gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can, you don't need to move on to the next step. Also, if you're not comfortable adjusting these disc brakes, because the brakes are one of the key elements to safety for your electric trike, take it to a professional, have them just at least do the brake adjustment to ensure. So now I'm gonna pass it off to Peter, and he's going to walk you through the step-by-step of the brake adjustment and the gear adjustment.
Okay guys, so before we put the basket on, we have full access to the rear disc brake and also the gears. By the way, I'm Peter here at 630. We also will work on the front rotor. Okay, so they should be pretty good, but you can also dial them in. Obviously, before you start riding, you want to make sure that your brakes are working very nicely. You can obviously test that before you even get on the bike. by squeezing the levers and seeing if it goes anywhere, if it locks up. I know it goes without saying, but it also bears repeating that it's extremely and crucially important that you get your brakes adjusted properly, that they stop you as they should, and that you also keep up with them as time goes on, because the pads can wear a little bit, the cables can settle in, things like that. So you got to check your brakes every time you ride, please. It's important to do, and not hard to do either, okay? So it's pretty simple, both of these things. If you're gonna do it yourself, I'll show you how to do it pretty easily. We'll go ahead and start with the brakes. So we'll go ahead and do this rear one here. It's kind of easy to see. All right, and so this is called the rotor, the disc, okay? It's called the rotor. And then this part here that squeezes on it is called the caliper. And it's actually mounted to the bike by 2 bolts right here, okay? We're not gonna mess with those. The caliper is mounted where it is mounted, and it can only be mounted. We have 2 other bolts right here though that can be loosened, and this will allow the caliper to be adjusted, okay? So when I loosen these 2 guys, this one right here, I'm just gonna loosen it a little bit. I don't think I'm even doing one full turn. I'm gonna loosen this one here. There we go, that was about a half a turn there. Now you can see the caliper can wiggle all around, all right? Now, we can also adjust the inner pad by tightening in on this part right here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it all the way in, so that's as tight as it can be. I'm gonna go ahead and back it off a little bit. Now, usually what we can do is kind of get a self-adjustment by going ahead and pulling the rear brake lever, and then you can just secure the adjustment bolts in that position. Now it should pretty much center itself like that. It's not guaranteed, but it's usually a good way to start. It's a little bit of a hack to just kind of do these quickly and easily. And then I'll just secure that down so it's nice and tight. And right here. Okay, yeah, they need a little bit more tightness there. Okay, and then what we're looking for is that when we spin the wheels, that the rotor clears the pads, and then also that it has a nice feel here up at the lever. At the lever, you want tightness so that you start to get resistance about halfway through the pull, and then you should not be able to hit the grip, okay, ever. So I'm pulling as hard as I can. I can actually squeeze it all the way to the grip, so it's a little bit on the loose side. We would want it a little bit tighter than that, okay? But let's also check for the rotor clearance now that we made our adjustment. You see how quick that was? That's the quick way to do it. There's another way that is often needed as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull it up and go ahead and pedal it. So I can hear by sound that it's rubbing just a little bit. So in that case, it's okay if it rubs a little bit because the pads will kind of settle in with the rotor, but you can also make a more precise adjustment by loosening these 2 guys again, and then you can hold a white piece of paper or something behind the caliper, and you can look for the clearance of the rotor passing through the pads, okay? And it should be very slight. It's not something we're going to be able to capture on camera, but you can just loosen these 2 adjustment bolts and then maneuver the caliper so that it is, you know, so you get a little bit of daylight on either side of the rotor, and then you know you have it perfectly adjusted. So now, like I said, it feels to me like it could be a little bit tighter. I'm not sure actually, because I can see when I look down here, there's not a whole lot of clearance, but we can tighten up on the brake just a little bit here by using tightening up on the cable right here. And then what you do is you will loosen the cable pinch bolt right here, and then take some of the slack out of the cable just a little bit to tighten up and make this a little closer. You also have the option of adjusting that inner pad with this part here. Also, all this is 5mm Allen wrench, by the way. So you can tighten that or loosen it a little bit. There's also what we call barrel adjusters right here. And now these guys should not be abused. These are good for making little tiny adjustments, but they're really for very, very minimal adjustments. So the barrel adjuster, what happens is when you back it out like this, I'm going counterclockwise in the loosening motion. It's coming out this way, so it's pulling against the cable housing. It's effectively making the cable tighter, and then you can lock your position like that with the lock nut. Now, sometimes people get a little lazy. Instead of actually adjusting their brakes, they'll back this barrel adjuster all the way out. It's under a lot of pressure with this cable right here. I would say that even that far is too far out. You can see there's a little bit of thread left over right here at the bottom, but I would not back your barrel adjusters out that much. If they need to be tightened more, I would go all the way back in, start from the beginning, take more slack out of the cable. But there's also a barrel adjuster up at the lever, and same thing. It can be used as well to give a little bit of tightening right here. See if we can catch this, Lisa, right here. This barrel adjuster right here. And I can also go counterclockwise with that one to tighten the cable a bit. But again, we don't want that to go out very far. I would say not more than maybe a 1/4 inch at the most. You just want to use that for very little adjustments there. That feels nice, and that feels really good right there. So it starts to kind of stop me about halfway towards the grip. Okay, cool. The front brake is exactly the same. This one feels great. Oh, by the way, these brakes also have a parking feature. So you can pull the brakes closed like this and then pull these tabs like that, and it will lock the brakes in place. Now you have a parking brake in case you're on a slope, okay? It's really cool. And then you can just release them by pulling back on the brakes. So the way you engage those is pull the brakes closed in the braking position, and then pull these little tabs here in, and it will hold the levers closed. And then pull them back to release. Okay, let's adjust the front caliper. Okay, so exact same procedure. Again, right here, these two are mounting bolts. We'll never touch those. That just holds the caliper exactly where it's supposed to be. So we just want those nice and tight like they came from the factory. But then over here we have the adjustment bolts. Okay, so we can loosen these guys a little bit if you want to. This one came adjusted very nicely from the factory. Yours should too, because it's very difficult. Well, it's not. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to access the pad adjustment on the inside of this one. So without, well, yeah, you really can't get to it with the motor there. So. So anyway, same thing, we kind of loosened this. That means that the caliper is loose and free to move around. This bottom one could be a little bit looser. There we go. Wiggles back and forth. Now I'm going to pull the lever in the closed position like that. It'll center itself, and then we'll go ahead and tighten these guys back down so that it'll hold its position. That's really all there is to it, unless, like I said, you want to get a more if you need to get a little more precise, you can sight through the caliper and look at how close the rotor is to the pads. But the amount of, and you're looking for daylight on both sides of the rotor, and just a little sliver of it. But that's usually not necessary. But you can just do that too by using these adjustment bolts, loosening them, and then moving the caliper as needed, so that the pads are equidistant on both sides from the rotor. Okay, this one's just a little bit loose to my liking. I'm actually going to tighten it just a little bit right here. Again, this is with my barrel adjusters run all the way in. I'm gonna tighten it up just a little bit. Then retighten the pinch bolt to hold the cable. And then I'm gonna give that an extra squeeze. You want these to be very secure because you don't want the cable slipping out anyway. And then I go up here. Oh, that feels really nice. Right there. Again, stopping me about midway to the handlebar. And then we can pick this up and we can see if it's hitting the rotor. Yep, that one's dragging a bit. So I would want to go back and adjust the pads a little bit. Or maybe actually even just loosen it just a little bit will probably do the trick. So I'll go back here again and let a little bit of slack out. There we go. And just find that nice balance between too tight and too loose for the clearance of the rotor. Still feels it's a little loose on this side, but should have more clearance on the rotor. Yeah, it needs to be centered a little bit more. So that one will involve, so this one wants a little bit more adjustment. Like I said, you can go ahead and loosen the two adjustment bolts a little bit, And you're going to need to actually just manually maneuver the caliper so that the pads are centered around the rotor and there's a little bit of daylight between the pads and the rotor on both sides. Okay, it'll take a little bit of fiddling with, and it's really something we can't catch on camera, but it does help to like put a white sheet of paper behind the caliper, so you can really sight down there and see how much room there is between the caliper and the rotor. All right, let's move on to the gears. All right. So what I'm going to do a little trick. So it's easiest if you do the gears by being able to move the pedals with your hands, okay? So that means that we want the drive wheel to be elevated, okay? I found the easiest way to do this, I just have the box actually that came with the bike, and then I'm going to rest the tricycle, the fender holder right there on that box. So it's kind of angled up like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold the bike while I'm pedaling it, but now we can pedal the bike like this. Now this is important for adjusting the gears. If you follow the steps that I'm about to give you for the gears, it will be perfect and it will be pretty easy. If you try and muddle your way through the gears, it can take you a very, very long time and you'll never get the result you want. There's a very specific set of steps to adjust gears, and it's really quite simple, but most people don't know how to do it, and they try to do all sorts of other things, and it gets very frustrating and you never quite get it right. So let's just do it right the first time, and we can do this fast. I mean, it really can be done in about 45 seconds, but we won't do it that fast here for demonstration. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pedal the bike, and then up here at the shifter, I'm going to depress the little thumb button and put it into the highest gear, which is 7 on the shifter. So now the shifter's in 7th gear, and as it happens, because the gears are adjusted pretty well, is that the chain is also in 7th gear. The 7th gear is the smallest one. Okay, 1st gear is up here, it's the large one. That's the easy gear, 1st gear. Here, 7th gear, which is the fastest gear, is the little guy. All right? Now what we do to adjust it is we need a 9mm wrench and a Phillips. That's all we need to adjust the gears. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I have put the shifter in 7th gear is to detach the cable, okay? So now the cable is loose, okay? Doesn't have to be that loose, but I just want to show you that the derailleur is not connected to the shifter anymore. They're not communicating anymore. So what we want to do now is is make sure that the derailleur is exactly positioned for 7th gear since our shifter's in 7th gear, okay? There's 2 screws here, one above and one below. The one above is the high set screw, high limit screw, and the one below is the low limit screw, okay? So we'll be using the one on the top here, it's H, oh, and they're marked H and L, by the way, in case you get confused. So the top one is H, that's the high limit. So this will help us to adjust the high gear, okay? So if I turn it in, if I screw this one in while I'm pedaling, it's going to move the derailleur in. It can move it in so far that you can see it will shift into 6th gear. See that? So just by turning that screw, the high limit screw, I pushed the derailleur inwards so far that it went into 6th gear. So what we want to do, of course, is back it back out, and I'm just going to be listening to it. It's going to start making some chattering noise, and it's going to fall right into 7th, and just when it gets silent, it'll be in the perfect spot. So here I am loosening it back down, so it'll come into 7th. It's making some noise. Now it's in 7th. I can hear just a little bit of chatter still. Starting to fall down on me. And then so I'm just going to loosen a little bit more. Okay, so at this point, 7th gear is perfectly adjusted. And now what we'll do is reattach the cable now that the shifter's in 7th gear and so is the chain. It's kind of a funny little setup I have here, but it works for the moment. So now generally, also, we're going to need to use the barrel adjuster here later on because it's very hard to get the cable completely tight. You can see there's a little bit of slack here. So I'm going to try and pull that as tight as I can. Yep, here. Take as much slack out as I can. I won't be able to get all of it, but I'll show you what to do about that. Then I'm going to tighten down the pinch nut here. Very nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, now that I've reattached the cable, is I'm going to go up the gears one at a time, okay? So I'm going to go, it's in 7th right now, and on the shifter I'm going to go into 6th. There's 6th gear. Now see, it's not going. The reason why is because I wasn't able to take all the slack out of the cable, okay? So here I'm going to keep turning, and then I'm going to back out the barrel. I'll try not to get in the camera's way. I'm going to back out the barrel adjuster. It's going to tighten the cable, and then it's going to go right into 6th gear. Boop, there it is, perfect. Okay, so you can see I can go to 7th, and now to 6th. And now let's try 5th, perfect, 4th, 3rd. It's a little sluggish. I'm going to back this out just to give a little more tension to the cable. 2nd gear, 1st gear, right there, boom. Now you generally don't have to touch the low limit screw, but if your chain is going too far or won't go in to 1st gear, then you may have to adjust the low limit screw. Okay, but anyway, there you go. That's how you do it. I'm going to punch it back down, just make sure it works on the way down. There we go. 7, up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go, and then all the way back down. No problem. So there you go. If you do the steps properly, it's quite easy to do, and it's definitely best if you can do it while you're operating the pedals by your hand. You can do, I've done videos where you do it with a bike that can't be lifted or put onto a bike stand, because a lot of people don't have bike stands or they can't lift up the bike for some other reason. It can be done, it's just a slower process. So if possible, definitely hold it up and then let the drive wheel go like this. So there you go, there are the brakes and the gears for you.
Okay, now that Peter has explained the gears and the brakes, we're gonna move on to one of the final steps here, which is putting on the rear basket. So you can see here, there's going to be a bracket on either side, and the 4 bolts to attach the basket already come on. So you're gonna wanna remove all 4 of these bolts and remove the bracket. And then once you have that complete, we will be ready to install the basket. Okay, now I have my 2 brackets removed and I have the bolts in my pocket. We're gonna lift the basket up and go ahead and lift the top up here. Now, if you look in here, you're going to want to center your basket, and you're gonna wanna put the top bolt below this top wire, and then it'll be below the bottom wire. And then you want to find sort of the middle point in these pieces, so the basket's in the middle. Now, you're going to lay your brackets down right here. Oh, sorry. You're going to lay your brackets down right here, okay? And right here. Now, from there, you are going to mount your bolt through the mesh. You just have to find an opening. Now, don't tighten all the way. Hand tighten it in, okay? There you go. And again, you want to be able to hand tighten, so if it's not hand tightening, just try to work it in there to the point where you can hand tighten, okay? Okay, now those 2 are in. Now let's come to this side. And let's hand tighten these right here. Okay. And lastly, this one. Okay. Now, from here, this is going to be your 4mm Allen key. I'm going to use my ratcheting Allen key just to make this a little bit faster. And you're just gonna go ahead and tighten this all the way in. Okay, so we will just repeat that on all 4 bolts till these are completely tight, and then your basket will be installed. Okay, once all the bolts are tightened, the basket will be secure. You can go ahead and close this up here. And that's in place. And now you're all set to ride. So if you want to come up here, I'll show you quickly how to get going. On the side of the battery here is a power switch. You need to make sure that's in the on position, and then you would move your way up here to the power, and you're going to hold that down, and it will come right on. From here you have your pedal assist levels. If that is in 1, that means the pedal assist is engaged. That also means the throttle is engaged. You can put that into 0. Once it's in 0, nothing will happen. Now right here you have your drive and your reverse. So drive is going to take you forward, reverse is going to put you into reverse. So pretty self-explanatory. You want to make sure it's in drive, okay? From there you have your brakes. Peter showed you the parking brake, but you can pull here, pull that back, and now your brake is engaged. It won't roll anywhere. Just pull it a little farther to disengage. Right here you have your shifter for your gears, which are not connected to the electric. Now one more thing I will show you. Right here you have your quick release to raise and lower your handlebars, which is very convenient. You also have 2 bolts that adjust right here, and I can show you quickly how to adjust those as well. You can use your 5mm Allen key. We can loosen them, and now this can bring the bars closer into your body if you should like them a little bit closer. Let's put them right there. This is going to really make it so you don't have to extend your arms forward while riding. Okay. Go ahead and tighten. Now these are important bolts here, so make sure these are tight, okay? Come and we'll just check this one as well. Yes, so make sure those are tight before you start riding. That's very, very important, okay? And then on this bolt here, you can also go ahead, just like the quick release of the seat, you can tighten this down a little bit more before you clamp it. Yeah, now that's nice and tight right there. I'm gonna lower these down just a touch. Perfect, okay. And we'll put our Allen key to the side. Now you'll need to put air in your tire as well before you start riding. If you look down here on the tire, it will indicate the PSI, which is located right here, and it says minimum 40 PSI, maximum 65 PSI. You can fill that up with a hand pump or at your gas station. Just make sure you stay within the recommended PSI. Okay, let me show you how to unfold. Now the first time you go to fold it, you're gonna have to stretch the cables a little bit, so it may be challenging. So you're just gonna undo the quick release here, pull this out. Now, in order to unfold, this latch has to go up, okay? Once you pull it up, it's gonna unfold. Now again, the first time you do this, it may be a little bit challenging because you have to get it loosened, okay? And then over time, it'll be a little bit easier. And there you go. It's all folded. And then we'll just fold this back. Okay. And now to get it back in, you have to lift this up. Okay. And there we go. And we already, in the assembly process, your handlebars came folded. So that one you've seen right here. You can go ahead and fold that down. And obviously you can fold those down simultaneously, the half and fold and then the handlebars. Make sure when you put the handlebars back, you put this plastic piece covering the latch to ensure it doesn't come undone. Okay, just one other troubleshooting thing after you're done assembling. If the motor doesn't turn on, just a quick thing to check right here. I want to show you up on the handlebars here, you have a few connections, and you can actually see on this one right here, there's a little bit of red. That shouldn't be that way. So you want to make sure all of these wires are just fully plugged in. Now, if everything works, don't worry about it, but this is kind of the first place to look if you ever have something not starting or not working properly. Come up there, make sure everything's plugged in. If there's something else causing the issue, reach out to us here at 630, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. Okay, now there's one last piece. You have your keys here, which will insert here, and if you see on the battery, there's a lock position and an open position. In order to remove your battery, it needs to be turn to the right, and we gotta loosen the quick release. And from there, you can take your battery off. And actually, to take the battery off, turn the key to the left, the battery will come off, and then put it on, turn it to the right, now it's locked back in position. Don't need to leave these keys in here, keep them with you on your rides. Let me go ahead and tighten the seat back down. Okay. Now we got that back in position. Now there's this extra plastic cap that comes in the box of the chargers and pedals. That is just for decorative to be installed on the front axle nut right here on the opposite side of where the motor attaches. So it just goes there, makes it look pretty. And from there, we can power on, mount. Also, if you find your display to be a little bit loose, no big deal. You can just come in here with a Phillips head. Go ahead and show you that really quick. Just got 2 screws here, so find the position you like. And come in with your Phillips head right here. And just tighten those down so it doesn't go anywhere. There we go, beautiful. Okay, now we can go for a little ride. We will make some other videos detailing more about the display and some other uses and other things and how to use the display, the braking, but that pretty much concludes the assembly and we're off for a ride. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your 630.
Hey everyone, I'm Dustin, CEO of 630, and today we are going to take you through a fitting sizing video with our Easy Transit Folding Electric Trike 750 watts. We're going to show you riders from 4'11" to 6'2", how they can perfectly fit on our Easy Transit Electric Trike and how we adjust it ideally and perfectly to their bodies so they're in an ergonomic, comfortable riding position. So stick around. All right, so before we get into our fitting and sizing with all of our men and women, I wanted to just walk you through the Easy Transit Folding Electric Tricycle a little bit. So what makes this electric trike so great for so many varying heights is the fact that we have a double adjustable seat post. What I mean by that is we have 2 seat clamps here. So you've got this, and then you've also got right here another seat. So it's a double adjustable seat. Now, beauty of that is we can accommodate heights from 4'9", 4'8", all the way to 6'4". Now, we don't have riders here today, 4'8", 4'9", 4'10". We do have a 4'11" rider, and our highest, tallest rider is going to be 6'2", but you're going to see when we adjust to their bodies that we could go shorter and even taller because of this double adjusted seat post. Now, in every video, you're not going to see me adjusting everything, but I just wanted to explain that you're going to have that ability, and you've got about 8 to 9 inches of variance in this seat post. You've also got the adjustable handlebars right here. You can raise and lower 4.5 inches. In addition to that, you have a bolt right here that can be loosened to bring the handlebars in and out, closer or farther away from the rider's body. So these 4 adjustment points. Now, I didn't mention you can tilt the saddle as well. So you actually have 5 adjustment points on this bike because you have the 2 points of height adjustment, the raising and lowering of the handlebars, the tilting of the handlebars, and the tilting of the seat. Now, in addition to that, if you're looking for more details about the Easy Transit, check our YouTube channel. We've got riding videos, spec videos, measurement videos, the whole 9 yards. This is a 750 watt electric tricycle It's gonna take you top speeds up to 16 miles an hour. Riders up to 350 pounds can easily ride this up hills around town. In addition, you're gonna get 15 to 50 miles of range with the battery that this comes standard with. So stick around and let's get into the sizings of our riders, 4'11" to 6'2". Okay, we're with our first rider at 4'11", and what was your name?
Bryn.
Bryn. And Bryn, what was your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length was 17 inches and my inseam is 29 inches.
Okay, and how much do you weigh?
105 pounds.
105 pounds. If you want to go ahead and step on, we'll see what seat is good, height is good for her. Now, obviously with a tricycle, you don't necessarily have to have your feet all the way to the ground because you can balance, just like Bryn. So how does that feel when you pedal or go backwards with your right foot? So at the very bottom, I just want to see, put the pedal at the very bottom. So her leg's a little bit hyperextended. So if you want to get off really quick, I'm going to lower it down just a little more for you. So we still have a little bit more we can go down right about there. Okay, try that. There we go. So we wanted to have a little bit of bend at the downstroke for her so she's not overextending her knee. Now the handlebars look a little bit high to me. So let's bring those are down there. So let's go ahead and tilt them forward to bring them down just a little bit for her. Oops. Okay, now you can bring them forward. Does that feel better or worse?
Better.
Better? Cool. Good right there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you can see when you adjust, the bars come really into the body, easy on her elbows. How does that feel? Comfortable?
Yeah, really comfortable.
Cool. So I think we have a good fit for our 4'11" rider. Let's move up to 5 foot. Okay, now we're with our 5 foot rider. What was your name?
Sandy.
Sandy. And Sandy, what's your arm length and inseam?
My arm length is 19 and my inseam is 28.5.
Okay. And how much do you weigh?
120.
120. All right, Sandy, if you want to go ahead and get on, we will see if we can get a good fit for your body.
Oh, that feels good.
Okay, so her leg is pretty good bend. Feels comfortable to you?
Yeah.
Handlebars feel okay?
It feels great.
Perfect. Well, no adjustments from our 4'11" rider. Sandy feels comfortable. We've got a fit. Let's move up to our 5'1" rider. Okay, now we're with our 5'1" rider. What was your name?
Teresa.
Teresa. And Teresa, what was your arm length and inseam?
22 arm length, inseam is 30.
Okay, and how much do you weigh?
Approximately 130.
130. Okay, if you want to go ahead and step on. Okay, so I think we need to raise the seat up a little bit so you're going to get a better leg extension on the down pedal. So if you can get off really quick, I'm going to raise the seat up for you. And we have the double seat post on this model, so you can actually get a lot more height as you need it. Go ahead and try that. Now let me see, pedal backwards with your right foot. There we go. Leave it at pedal backwards and then leave it at the lowest point with your right foot. So pedal backwards, pedal backwards, pedal backwards. Stop there. Okay, so that looks pretty good. She's got a nice bend on the downstroke. And how do the handlebars feel to you?
Oh, good.
Comfortable?
Very comfortable.
Yeah. Cool. We've got her in a nice ergonomic position. Look how relaxed her arms are and her shoulders are back. I think we've got a great fit for our 5'1" rider. Let's move up to 5'2". All right, now we're here with our 5'2" rider. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. And Jerry, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 19 and my inseam is 33.
And how much do you weigh?
120.
120. Okay, if you want to go ahead and step on. And let me see. So that actually looks really good. Her knee bend and her right leg looks great. And how does the handlebar position feel for you? Comfortable?
Very comfortable. Yeah.
Cool. I think we don't need to make any adjustments. Her back's nice and upright. Her arms look relaxed. She looks fully in control and comfortable. So let's move up to our 5'3" rider. All right, now we're here with our 5'3" rider. What was your name?
My name's Rohini.
Rohini. And what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 15 inches and my inseam is 28.5 inches.
And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 135 pounds.
Okay, perfect. If you can go ahead and step on, we'll see if we can find a good fit for your body. Okay, so let me see can you pedal backwards with your right foot and leave it at the lowest position right there? So that's pretty good on her downstroke. She still has a slight bend. You want to have a little bend so you're not hyperextending, overly extending your knee, but you want to make sure you're getting as much power on the down pedal. And how do the handlebars feel for you?
They're good. Can we bring them down just a tad bit though? Just curious.
Down, we could bring them in. Let's see. So you'd have to tilt them like that, yeah. Better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Feels comfortable?
Yeah.
Perfect. And you can see she's not straining, her arms are relaxed, and her back's nice and upright. Does it feel like a good fit?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we've got a fit for our 5'3" rider. Let's move up to 5'4". All right, now we're here with our 5'4" rider. What was your name?
Deidre.
Deidre. And Deidre, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 19 inches and my inseam is 31 inches.
Okay, perfect. And how much do you weigh?
130.
130. Okay, if you can go ahead and step on, we'll see how we can adjust perfectly to your body. And let me see your pedal in the downstroke. Yep, stop right there. That actually looks pretty good. So you can tell I haven't made many adjustments for our riders from 411 to 5'3". Because of the inseams and heights, there's so many variables that they've all kind of liked a similar adjustment. Which again, all bodies are different and we have the ability to adjust as we need. So how do the handlebars feel? Comfortable?
Feel good.
No adjustment? Feels good? Perfect. All right, well there we have it. We've got a good fit for our 5'4" rider, nice ergonomic position. Let's move up to 5'5". All right, now we're here with our 5'5" rider. What was your name?
Alicia.
Alicia, and what's your arm length and inseam?
Arm length is 17, inseam is 30.
Okay, perfect. And how much do you weigh?
145.
And perfect. So if you go ahead and step on, let's go ahead and adjust it perfect to your body. And then go ahead and put your right foot on the pedal and pedal backwards. Yep, so we can get it in the down, stop right there. Okay, so let me see. Put your left foot on the pedal as well. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay, and how about the handlebars? Too close?
It's a little close.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and adjust them. Okay, let's pull this back, and then you can push them. Go ahead and grab on anywhere you like.
Yeah, right there, that's good.
Perfect. How's that feel?
There we go.
We've got her back nice and upright. Her arms look in a great position. I say we have a fit. How about you?
I agree.
Yep. Perfect. Let's move up to our 5'6" rider. All right, now we're here with our 5'6" rider. What was your name?
Hi, I'm Brianna.
Brianna. And Brianna, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 15 and my inseam is 29.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 130 pounds.
Awesome. So if you want to go ahead and step on, we'll see if we can adjust perfectly to your body. Okay, and go ahead and put your right foot on the pedal. And can you actually pedal it backwards? Here, let me see. Take your foot off. And go ahead and put your foot on the pedal there. So I'd say that bend is maybe a little too much. So if you want to get off real quick, I'm just going to raise the seat a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. Bring that to right there. Now the beauty of a tricycle obviously is that it's going to balance when you get on, so you don't have to have your feet flat on the ground necessarily. So go ahead and step on again. Let's try that. And let's see her foot in the downstroke. That's much better. So now she has a little bit of bend, but her knee's not hyperextended. That's exactly what we want to get maximum efficiency out of the pedal stroke. And how do the handlebars feel for you?
They feel good.
Perfect? Good?
Perfect.
All right. Her back's upright, her arms are relaxed. We've got a great fit. So let's move up to our 5'7" rider. Okay, now we're here with our 5'7" rider. What was your name?
Salvador.
Salvador. And Salvador, what was your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 18 and my inseam is 30.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 181.
All right, awesome. If you want to go ahead and step on, we're going to go ahead and try to adjust perfectly to your body. Okay, so I would say actually we could maybe lower the seat just a little bit. His leg's a little bit straighter than I would like typically, but can you shift your foot back just a touch on the pedal? Like move your foot back just a little. No, here, pedal down, and then actually shift your foot back. Don't pedal the pedal. There you go. A little forward, a little more forward. There we go. So I think with just changing the foot position, and we've got a good bend in the knee there. How does it feel for you? Okay.
It feels good.
How about the handlebars?
On spot.
There we go. No adjustment needed. So our 5'7" rider is a fit. Let's move up to our 5'8" rider. Okay, we're here with our 5'8" rider. What was your name?
Thomas.
Thomas. And Thomas, what was your arm length and your inseam?
19 arm, 29 inseam.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
195.
195. Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? We'll go ahead and get it set up for your body. And go ahead and grab the brakes.
Oh,
so does it?
brake.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
And how does that, go ahead and pedal backwards for me so the pedal doesn't stop at the lowest position. Go ahead and pedal down, down, down. Stop there, stop there.
Yeah, this is a really good fit.
So your leg looks a little straight. I might lower it just a little bit, but does it feel good for you?
Feels good for me.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah, I like it a little straighter when I ride.
No problem. And how about the handlebars? Feel good?
Perfect, perfect tight. Back is straight.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks like
Excellent.
a great fit.
It's the perfect reach. Everything, it's a really good fit.
Awesome. Well, there we have it. He's got his back nice and upright. He's relaxed. So let's move up to our 5'9" rider. All right, now we're here with our 5'9" rider. What was your name?
Avis.
Avis. And what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 23 inches and my inseam is 33.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
131.
131. All right, if you want to go ahead and step on, we'll get it all set up for her body. Okay, and put your foot on the pedal. So it looks like, let me raise it just a touch. If you want to go ahead and step off for a second.
Yes.
And again, we have this double seat post, which makes adjusting very easy. Okay, so try that. I just raised it just a little bit so she can get maximum pedal power on the downstroke. Put your foot on the pedal for me. Perfect, I like that a lot more. And how about the handlebars? Does that feel okay to you?
They could come down a
Yeah, let's go ahead and
little bit, yeah. Perfect.
Good there?
Yes, that's perfect.
There we go. Wow, it looks comfortable. How does it feel?
It feels really good. Feels easy. I'm not straining anywhere. I like it.
Perfect. Yes, her back's nice and upright. Arms are bent, relaxed. We've got a great fit for 5'9". Let's move up to our 5'10" rider. Okay, now with our 5'10" rider, what was your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. And Aaron, what's your arm length and inseam?
19 and 31.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
170.
170. Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? We'll see how we can adjust perfect to your body. Oh, yeah, hit the brakes.
Rolling away.
Yeah. Here, go ahead and clamp the brake. There you go. Okay, so
this is nice. Yeah.
Your leg looks way too bent. So go ahead and hop off for a second.
Okay.
Oh, actually, here, let me try this. Okay, rewind, get back on real quick.
Uh-huh.
And let's try that now with the pedal all the way down so I can get a look. Okay, actually, that looks pretty good. Maybe even a little too... Slide your foot back on the pedal just a touch. There we go. How's that feel to you?
Feels good to me.
Okay. And how about the handlebars?
Yeah. It's a fit.
Perfect. He likes it. So we've got a fit for our 5'10" rider. Let's move up to our 5'11" rider. All right, we're with our 5'11" rider now. What was your name?
Brian.
Brian. And Brian, what's your arm length and your inseam?
It is 19 and 33.
And how much do you weigh?
155.
Perfect. You want to go ahead and step on? We'll get this set up all perfectly for your body. Okay, so it looks like we probably need to get the seat a little higher. I don't like how much bend he has in the knees, so if you want to get off really quick. Now the beauty of the Easy Transit is we do have the double adjusting seat post, so we can bring this up even higher here and bring this bottom one up even higher as well. So try that. That may be too high, but we'll see. Actually, I think the leg extension's pretty good, yeah.
Feels good.
Now, how do you feel about the handlebars? Okay, too low?
Maybe a little low.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Perfect. So we've got a quick release here. We can bring it up.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect there.
Perfect.
And let me just tighten this down here. And there we go. So you've got about 4.5 inches of room to adjust on the handlebars, and we've got about 8 or so inches on the seat post. So that looks really good. We've got his back nice and upright. Arms look bent. How's that feel to you?
Yeah, it feels great.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
We've got a great fit then for our 5'11" rider. Let's move up to 6 foot. All right, now we're here with our 6 foot rider. And what was your name?
Nick.
Nick. And Nick, what's your arm length and your inseam?
Arm length is 20 and my inseam is 30.
Perfect. And how much did you weigh?
256.
All right, awesome. If you can go ahead and step on for us. All right, and let's, there you go, put your foot on the pedal there. So actually,
His leg's a little bit more extended than I would like, so if you want to jump off really quick, I'm going to lower it just a touch for him so we can make sure he's got maximum efficiency on the downstroke there. Okay, give that a shot. And you can step through the frame and then step onto the pedal. There you go. Now, there you go. Makes it a little easier to mount.
Better.
Perfect. So that looks a lot better. He's got a little bend in the knee. How do the handlebars feel?
They feel great. Yeah, very relaxed.
Perfect. Yeah, he's got his back nice and upright. Arms are relaxed. Looks great. Let's move up to our 6'1" rider. Okay, now we're here with our 6'1" rider. What was your name?
Brendan.
Brendan. And Brendan, what's your arm length and inseam?
My arm length is 26, my inseam is 32.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
161.
161. If you can go ahead and step on, we'll see if we can adjust perfect to your body.
You got it.
Here you go. Go ahead and step onto the pedal.
You got it.
And then step up to the seat. Yeah, you can hit the brakes. There you go. Okay, let me see. Okay, now his leg's way too straight, so we're gonna drop the seat just a little bit, so if you wanna get off.
You got it.
And we can easily just go ahead and take that down a little bit for him. Right about there, so try that.
You got it.
Okay, that looks much better. He's got a nice bend in his knee on the down pedal. And how do the handlebars feel?
Really good. That feels real nice.
Cool. Yeah, his elbows are nice and bent, looks super relaxed. His back's totally upright. Feels like a fit to you?
Yeah, feels like a good fit.
Perfect. So we've got a fit for our 6'1" rider. Let's move up to 6'2". All right, now we're here with our 6'2" rider, our tallest rider. And what was your name?
Leif.
Leif. And Leif, what's your arm length and your inseam?
Arm length is 25 inches, inseam is 33.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
215 pounds.
215. If you want to go ahead and step on, we'll see if we can adjust for your body. Hold the brakes when you get on so it doesn't... Cool. How does that feel for you? Your leg looks pretty straight.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pedal backwards so you have the pedal and stop right at the bottom with that right foot. Keep going right there. So it's a little bit extended actually. If you don't hop off, I'm going to lower it just a little bit for you. Good news is you can see, even for Leif, we still have play in the seat here to raise and lower. So we could go taller than 6'2" if we actually needed to. Go ahead and try that. I just want to make sure we're not hyperextending the knee on the downstroke. There we go. We got a little bend now, which is what we want. And handlebars, how's that feel for you?
Handlebars feel great.
We can actually bring it up if you think higher might be better.
Yeah.
Better, worse?
That's actually better.
Okay. There we go. So you can see, even for 6'2", you can bring the bars up right into the body. The bars are right there to steer. His back's nice and upright. You like it?
I love it.
Perfect. So we've got a fit for our 6'2" rider. That's all the riders. Stick around as we wrap it all up. All right, so there you have it. You just saw riders from 4'11" to 6'2" have the Easy Transit Folding Electric Trike be perfectly adjusted to their bodies because of this double adjusting seat post and the ability to adjust at the handlebars. We were able to perfectly dial in this electric trike to their bodies so they could have a comfortable riding position. So there you have it. And don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin, CEO of 6threezero, and today I'm going to take some measurements of our Easy Transit Folding E-Trike and show you how compact it is and just all the measurements so you can get a sense of how you would fit on this electric tricycle. So let me start right here with the seat. And the seat in the lowest position can go down to a 30-inch height. So 30 inches in the lowest position. Now keep in mind, if you have a shorter inseam than 30 inches, you'd still be able to ride this because you can step on the pedal to easily get over and to mount and dismount. And with the 3 wheels, you don't have to worry about balance like on a 2-wheel bike. So 30-inch lowest position is a pretty low height. Okay, now let's do the maximum height. The beauty of this folding E-Trike is it's going to accommodate a whole range of heights, actually from about 4'10" up to 6'4". Now in the highest position, the seat is all the way up to 38 inches. So you've got 8 inches of play in that seat there. Now handlebars as well, there's 4 inches that you can raise and lower these handlebars. In the lowest position, the handlebars are at 40 inches, and the highest position they're gonna be at 44 inches. But I'll go ahead and show you how they come up right here. And it's a quick release, so you can just clamp that down, no problem. And if you want to drop them down, right here. Now the handlebars, from the middle of the handlebars to the middle of the seat, is 25 inches. The beauty of this is, oh, got the seat kind of high for me here, but you can see how close the handlebars can come to your body if you so choose. And this can be tilted forward, so it can come even closer. If you want the bars here, you can tilt those forward into your body or tilt them away, which makes this folding E-Trike, able to be adjusted to, like I said, varying heights, 4'10" to 6'4". Okay, now from the grip to the seat is 20 inches. And let's go ahead and measure the complete length. And the complete length is, go ahead and pull that back right about there, 64 inches. Now, one of the most important measurements is the width. The width of this folding E-Trike is 31 inches. Now, why that's so important is because a standard interior doorway is 32 inches. Exterior doors are going to be wider. You could drive this through interior doorways. So if you want this to be transportation for you, in a grocery store, or inside an office building, or amusement parks, things like that, you're going to be able to fit this through all standard doorways to drive it through. So that's a nice feature. Now to the step over height here. This is another really great feature, is it's a 13.5-inch step over height. So mounting and dismounting is very simple. You just bring your leg through. Makes it very safe and easy. If mounting and dismounting is something that is a concern to you, that's a great feature as well. Okay, let me see. Let me do an axle to axle measurement. So from the front axle to the rear axle is 50 inches. And then let me go ahead and fold this down and take some measurements for you. Folding it is quite easy. You just click the quick release right here. I lower that down. You have a clamp right here. I'm going to unclamp that. And then I'm going to fold this up. Now, if you need to store it, the beauty is, I'm going to have to lean this forward. You've just reduced the length, right? So we went from 64 inches. Now our length is down to 40 inches. So from a width standpoint, if you're putting that in an RV or something, you've just decreased, the length to 40 inches. And the width now is just going to be a hair over that 31 inches I told you before. Now with everything included, you're at 37 inches. So it folds down to a nice little size. Again, you could put that in the back of a hatchback or an SUV. Going to be easy to transport. And then when you're ready to bring it back to life, just bring the bars up, clamp that, and bring the bars around to the front. Like that. And go ahead and clamp that down. Boom, put your lock in, and you're off and running. So those are all the measurements on the Easy Transit 750 watt folding E-Trike. If you have any other questions at all, please reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. Don't forget, 30-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love it in 30 days, send it back, no questions asked. Also, 1-year warranty on this folding E-Trike. Will take care of everything in the first year if you have any issues, parts and labor. Lastly, join our Facebook Peddlers group and download our app. 2 great places to connect with existing riders before you purchase, so you can get their experience, hear how they like their bikes. Then once you have yours, track your rides on the app, compete on the leaderboard, and make new friends in the Peddlers group. It's tons of fun. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.